Hello my dears, today I'm gonna tell you a very interesting, a funny and unexpected story about music paradoxes and about how melodies can travel around the world. And one of these melodies can be called probably the most amazing traveler in the whole history of the world music. It happened in Prague at the doors of St. Vitus Cathedral. An orchestra of musicians in black jackets and black hats was playing there. By the way, they were classical musicians and they used to play a classical piece of music. The matter is, in the Czech Republic, black suits and black hats are traditional only for folk musicians. It's a very interesting tradition, not in tailcoats but like this and in the street, and hats.
Fuggi dal mondo bugiardo, suoi ghiacci distruggi, non essere codardo. Guardati bene di non cadere in pene, che stan preparate all'anime dannate, han seguito il mondo, fallace d'immondo. Fuggi dal mondo bugiardo, suoi ghiacci distruggi, non essere codardo.
So imagine, okay, everybody's listening to incredible music in front of St. Vitus Cathedral. And suddenly a delegation of Italians comes up and they say, oh man, what a miracle. Why are they playing Italian folk? Is it just because they noticed us? Of course, yeah, guide nods. You know, Prague is very hospitable. Yeah, they saw you Italians and they started playing Italian music. Do you know, my dears, the title of that melody? An absolutely amazing song called Namantovana, a pattern beloved by everybody. Imagine for how long Italians have been singing it. Since the 16th century, the delegation was just blown away and they entered St. Vitus Cathedral. Behind them, Romanians appeared. They also stopped and said, oh, this is a great Romanian tune. Yes, said the guide, use this is in your honor and in honor of your wonderful folk traditional music. And finally, a group of Jews from Israel walked along. They stopped too and said, oh, listen, they're playing our national anthem. Why is the Israeli national anthem is being played here at St. Vitus Cathedral? Well, it's because they saw you, says the guide. But wait, those guys look like Jewish musicians in black hats and black suits. Yes, says the guide, Czech musicians also wear black hats and black suits. The guest from Israel came up and flipped some coins into a huge double bass case, although nobody asked. The orchestra needed no donations. They just played their routine program, occasionally in front of St. Vitus Cathedral. And only one couple from among the inhabitants of Prague looked at that wondering, what's up? After all, they were in the center of holy and beloved Prague, in front of St. Vitus Cathedral, and they were sure they were enjoying the symphonic poem, Vltava River by Czech composer Bedřich Smetana. But the Israelis took it as their anthem, and the Italians and Romanians took it as their folk music. So what's the matter? What's the joke? What were they playing after all? Actually, they played Smetana. That's it. And why did tourists from different countries recognize it as their own national tune? Because this tune has a unique story. We can find its origin in Middle Ages among Spanish Jews. It was performed as a prayer in synagogues, a prayer to do when it's hot, when there's no a drop of water. Jews had this prayer in the 14th century. So they used to sing it all together in synagogues and called it a prayer to dew, because dew is a symbol of moisture, salvation and protection. But then Catholic kings came to power in Spain and they expelled all the non-Christians, all the Jews out of Spain. It was an exodus, a terrible exodus. The Jews tried to find shelter in various countries, including Italy. The Jewish prayer got so popular among Italians that they adopted the melody. Quite soon, everybody forgot its origin, where and who gave them this melody. So the majority of Italians got convinced this is our native Italian folk song. And many, many years later, Austrian composer Mozart came to Italy and he used this melody to create his own piece for piano. Another miracle happened in the 20th century. The citizens of Israel had to choose a melody for the national anthem. Believe me, they had a great choice, but they liked this one as the best. And today, it's Israel's national anthem, the only minor piece of music among the anthems of all countries. Look how amazing can be the story behind one single tune. It's an Italian song, a Jewish prayer, Romanian folk song. And besides, it's a poem by ShANet, the great Czech composer. He was inspired by Mozart's version of the tune, very popular in Prague after Mozart opening night, later on copied and remixed by many others. Smetana was also astonished after listening to it. Well, this is how this tune traveled around Europe. It appeared equally close to Jews, Czechs, Italians, Romanians, and naturally Moldovans. Melodies can move from heart to heart. Of course, Smetana's music poem is one of the most beloved too. He praises the Vltava river, called Moldau in German. There is an interesting fact about this river. It consists of two streams, the cold and the warm ones. The first comes from mountains and the other crosses Warm Valley and Streams Junction, give birth to a rushing river. ShANet was the first who stressed upon it. His poem is like a journey alongside the river from its mouth to the point where it, wide and beautiful, flows into the Elbe. But before that, it crosses Prague city, of course, where it all started, as Smetana got impressed by the tune we are talking about. Let's listen how it goes. A cold stream is played by cold wind instruments. Here is the flute. You hear the flute first of all, and on the right the strings and the clarinet. They're warm. And here left stream, left, right, and as they merge, we can see a fabulous miracle of the melody that was just a Jewish prayer 600 years ago, and after ages of transforming became the anthem of modern Israel. What a miracle! And before I finish, I'd like to say that music in all its forms is the greatest antidepressant, so listen and be amazed. I embrace you with music. See you soon. I'm Mikhail Kazinik.